So we're super excited to announce Loft version 3. With this update, we've added many new features, one of which is Argo CD integrations. So integrations are something that we're going to keep adding over time. The first one that we've added is Argo CD. So let's see how easy it is to get started with Argo CD and add it to a project, set up SSO, and then add your virtual cluster as an available cluster target in Argo CD. All right, so Argo CD is going to live within your project settings. So if we go to project settings, and we go to Argo CD down here, we can enable Argo CD integration. And then what we'll do is we'll select if we want it on a cluster or a virtual cluster. I've got Argo CD running on a regular cluster, so I'm gonna run it on the local cluster. And then we tell it which namespace Argo CD is going to use. All right, so if we take a look here, we notice it says, in order for this feature to work, please make sure to configure the Loft host in the admin config section. So what we'll do is we'll save changes here. We'll go over to our admin config section. So if you notice here, I've got the Loft host set up demo.loft.local. So I'm running this locally. So when you first start out, you're going to need to enable this by typing in Loft host and then the actual URL for your Loft host and then hit apply. And then what you can do is go back to projects, go to project settings. We're going to go back into Argo CD and we're going to enable SSO integration. So now we need to tell it where does Argo CD live? And that's where my Argo CD instance is running. So I've got it set up to run on argo.demo.loft.local. And then wherever the URL is that you're actually running it, you'll type that in here. You're just telling it, where can I find Argo CD? And in this case, it's going to be, like I said, there. So now what we'll do is we'll save changes. And then you'll notice that we have an open Argo option right here. Now what we can also do is add to Argo CD this virtual cluster. And that's basically what we want to do. So what we'll do is we'll log in first, and I won't have it added, and then I'll come back and I'll show it. All right, so if I go to open Argo now, it'll bring up my Argo CD instance, and then what I can do is log in via Loft, and then I can grant access to my user. Now we're in. Let's go ahead and take a look right now at what's in our available clusters. So right now we've just got local. So what we want to do is go back over here and add this virtual cluster to Argo CD. And then we should be able to go back to settings and clusters, and look, there's my virtual cluster. It's as easy as that. And that's basically the integrations that you get with Argo CD. And then you can do other interesting things, like if you go down to templates, you can go to your virtual cluster templates, you can edit them and go to advanced options, Argo CD, and add to Argo CD. And then whenever you create a new virtual cluster off of this template, it'll automatically add it to Argo CD so you can start using it. And that's pretty much it for the Argo CD overview. We should have more videos coming out in the future that'll actually go into maybe like a complete demo workflow of like what it would look like to deploy an application and kind of automate some of this setup. So if Loft version 3 is your first experience with Loft and you run into any problems or have any questions, reach out to us on Slack. The information's in the description below, and just let us know how we can help out.